Hey, Georgie. So what'd you end up with on that test
99.
after the points?
Oh, I didn't do the Excel program, so I didn't get any extra points. So I ended up with 99.
Oh, you didn't do any extra problems? Okay.
No Excel.
Okay. Well, 99's good enough.
No, 99 is good enough. I'll see you later.
Okay. Okay, guys, I guess we're broadcasting. Anyway, is West Virginia expecting much rain from this hurricane? The idea? Where was it flooding that last night up here?
Oh, I don't know about West. I know West Virginia downtown.
Okay, now where is College Avenue?
There's the road up like Little Caesars.
Up where?
To Little Caesars from the gas station Shell up from the college.
Okay, the gas station Shell down near Bluefield College.
That road all the way up to Little Caesars.
Okay, now I take that road sometime when I go down and just take a ride instead of going up the hill on Malin. I'll take a ride. That's College Avenue. I think it was flooded. It was mentioned on TV. And then I got a email from some student that couldn't be here to take a test. It flooded. Shouldn't say where. Well, that hurricane's going to hit Myrtle Beach hard. And I don't know about Virginia Beach. I think they're evacuating Virginia Beach too. So, so it comes right down to it. We live in one of the safest places, Appalachia region. If we have earthquakes, they're real minor. We don't know it. If we have a tornado, it's not too often. It's the side of some mountain somewhere. If we have high water, at least we can move to higher ground. I got a sister who lives out in Nebraska. Water has nowhere to run. You know, I guess some of the farmers has the little lakes that the water runs into. And my sister said, because the water don't run off, bugs get real bad. And they come through her little town and they spray for bugs. The government does. They spray for bugs ever so often. They call it fogging them. They come through and fog the area. So that's one thing she has to put up with. And well, she lives in this little town. It's surrounded by cattle farms too and cornfields. So she has to put up with manure smell about all summer long. And I came through this summer, a little town in Texas. My summer was gone because I spent the month of June out west. I visited Yellowstone and I visited Grand Canyon, Branson, Missouri, the Ozarks, and the Rockies. Got all those in one summer. So Arizona was dry and dusty. We were in a campground. They didn't even want you to smoke outside at all. Didn't allow any fires or any charcoal. And since I had a pipe, the lady that owned the campground said that was okay. But there was a little town out. Has anybody ever been to Grand Canyon? It's 227 miles long. It's 30 miles wide in places. It's a mile deep in many places. And some woman asked her husband, honey, do you reckon this was man-made? How dumb. Then there were stupid people standing out on those rocks. If they fell, it'd been a mile below. And my girlfriend bought a book, Death in the Grand Canyon Park, and she bought a book, Deaths in Yellowstone. People died in Yellowstone. For one thing, they got out in that water. One man jumped in after his dog, and that water from Yellowstone, they just eat all the skin off. And some people go up too close to a bear or too close to a buffalo. They're crazy. But a lot of deaths in Yellowstone, people out there on those rocks taking pictures. The earth can shift at any time. That rock can shift. A lot of them fall. So I saw one man way out there, his wife was taking his picture. I hollered at him. I said, that picture may look good on your coffin. And some man put his little 10-year-old kid out on those rocks. Take a picture. Whew. Bravery and stupidity are two different things. Oh, well, so much about those parks. But when I went up to the Rockies, this was in June, my grandson had a snowball fight because there was so much snow on the ground. When we went up into Yellowstone, it was about 65 during the day, but one morning we had snow flurries. There was a lot of piles of snow. Then one morning our water froze up at the beginning of the line. Didn't freeze up in the camper, but so it was neat seeing snow flurries in June. So other than that, I don't get excited about snow flurries. Okay, I did not get your test finished for today. I'll try to have it finished Thursday. If I do, I'll give it to you take home. It'll be mainly on chapter 2, 3, and 4. Chapter 1 does not have the material I wanted to cover. Chapter 2 is your basics. Chapter 2 is a very, very good chapter. Hope you've studied it, worked some of the problems. Chapter 3 was all those inclusions and income. And chapter 4 were all those exclusions with income. But we will cover capital assets later. Chapter 5 will be some of those, capital gains and losses. But chapter 4 is where we were. And did I ask you to do problem 60 on chapter 4? Did I ask that to be due when? Have you got it finished, Jonathan? Cole? Clayton? All right, let's look at page 31 real quick. That's 4-31. I see Jonathan's still walking around with the same lady friend. How long she been your lady friend, Jonathan?
4 years.
That's a spell, isn't it? Yeah. Well, if you end up marrying her, that's okay. If you end up breaking up, why I wasted 4 years of my life.
We were together at 3. We broke up one summer.
Still been 4.
We got back together.
Yeah. Well, relationships come and go. Hope that will last for you. Okay, look at that problem on page 31, chapter 4. Alice Johnson, they give you a made-up social security number. She is single, secretary, received $30,000 salary from employees, and $4,200 was withheld. So you know where that goes on the 1040. Received a gift of 1,000 shares of Ace Corporation stock with $100,000 fair market value from her mother. She also received $4,000 of cash dividends from the Ace Corporation stock. Now, are you going to report that stock? Are you going to report that $100,000, Cole? John, what do you think? All right, if you read this chapter, answer is no. But how about the income from the stock? Yes. All right, receive $1,000 of interest income on bonds? Yes. Whoa, no. Who issued those bonds? City of Tampa is a municipality. So a city, a town, a county, no municipal bonds. How about the interest on the municipal bonds? It's non-taxable. Received a regular stock dividend, non-taxable under section 50 shares of Ace Corporation stock with a $5,000 market value. All that does is reduce the basis in stock. Okay, now let me try to show you that, and I'll get back to these solutions in a minute. All right, if my pen will work today. All right, you bought 100 shares of stock at $50 a share. All right, so how much did you pay for your stock? 100 shares at 50. What'd you pay? How much? All right. Now you receive a 10% stock dividend. All right, you get 10 shares. Fair market value, $60 a share. You do nothing with tax on that. But now you've got $5,000 invested in 110 shares. Now divide. You might need a calculator for that one.
$45.50.
All right. Now, if you sell some stock in the future, you don't have $50 in it. Your new basis is $45.50. That's all a stock dividend does. Looking at this problem, her employer paid $2,000 of medical and health insurance premium. Clayton, is that a fringe benefit?
Yes.
Do you think she'll be taxed on that? That's right, Clayton. She will not be taxed on it. Received $12,000 alimony from her ex-husband. I'm back to you, Cole. You gonna report that on your taxes?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a lady present today. So, first time in the spell. Did you get any water up your way?
Oh,
You didn't get a flood, did you?
no, it's just high.
Where do you live?
I live in Wyoming,
I know it takes you how long to drive here?
an hour, 15.
All right, did you have a test in another class today? You just came up?
This is the only class.
Well, bless your heart. Thank you for coming. I was just telling them I'll try to have a test ready Thursday. It may be a take home. And if you're not here and I'm making a take home test, I'll put it on the computer somehow. I got an old one on there. Now you might want to practice that old test. It's on Moodle. So, but remember, if you practice that old test, there's going to be some strange things about it. And those strange things are going to be the deduction, standard deduction, all that's changed. By the way, taxes have been in the news recently. And so it's politics. But Trump lowered the tax rate. Jonathan actually lowered that tax rate, and it passed. Was your paycheck a little bit bigger? Well, it might not have been taking that much anyway, part-time. Excuse me. Mine up here, though, increased probably about 100 a month, 50 every 2 weeks. So, and he's proposing another tax cut. And the other things in the news is politics. Do y'all know who your senator is? Is it Mancini, whatever.
Range.
All right, he's running for re-election as a Democrat, and his opponent is a Republican. Of course, Donald Trump made West Virginia a strong red state, so that's going to be in the politics. I don't care who you vote for, you should get out and vote. If you're over 18, you can vote, and all of you are over 18. Get out and vote in this midterm. All right, so that alimony, Cole, did you say you would put that alimony on your tax return if this was your tax return? Yes, you would. All right. We're on page 431. We're looking at the problem that is due Thursday. State University provided 60,000 of group term life insurance. Alice is 42 years old and not a key employee. The table in the text is applicable. All right, I want to help you with that one. You are allowed by IRS to have 50,000 of tax-free life insurance. She's getting 10,000 too much. You have to divide that 10,000 times by 1,000 because that's what the insurance companies were, 1,000 and on. Well, we know that's 10 times, don't we? Now go to that table in your book, and she's how old? 42. What page is that table on in your book? She's probably going to live about 40 more years. Well, somebody find a page. Maybe chapter 3, I don't know. I thought that table was in chapter 4, but.
Page 412.
Page what?
412.
All right, let's look on 412. The rest of us were flipping over it. Do you not have intermediate accounting?
No.
You don't take intermediate?
I took it.
Oh, okay. Okay, there's that little table, or is it? Yeah. All right, term insurance for 1,000. Now, she falls between 40 and 44. What is that decimal? 40 to 44 is what? Is that 15? Is that 15? What? 15 cents? Oh, 10 cents. I missed it. Then you multiply 10 cents times 10. Guess what that gives us? $1. All right. Now, her employer will put that $12. That's for a month. Her employer will put that $12 on her W-2. But if he did not, that's 1 month. What is $1 times 12? So you'll put $12 on there. And you'd have to put it under other down there. There's no other place to put it. Because her employer did not put it on her W-2. All right, she's Secretary of the Year. She received $1,000 award. Now, I don't know what she had to do for it. That's like a bonus from her employer, and she's going to be taxed on it. Total itemized deductions 14. All right, what is her standard deduction? What is her standard? 12. So which is bigger, 14 or 12? So she'll itemize. Now, you're supposed to put that on a 1040, aren't you? And a Schedule AB. On the Schedule AB, you'll put the dividends and the interest, and you'll put a total itemized deductions on Schedule A of $14,000. And those two forms, all you have to hand in, a 1040 and Schedule AB. Schedule AB, same form, front, back. Okay, now that should have made that problem pretty easy for you. All you gotta do is put it on form. Okay, now I asked you to be working even problems on this chapter. I don't know how long ago that was, and I don't know how many we've done. I don't believe we've done any on this chapter, have we? Okay. So this is what we need to clear up before I give you a test on Thursday. And it will not be in class Thursday. It'll either be take home Thursday or in class on Tuesday the next week. So I've got 2 more students out there somewhere need to contact me. It's a take home test. It won't be a problem. So. All right, let me take a minute and bring my solutions up here. And they did not have a test bank made for this thing as of 2 weeks ago. I hope they have it made now. Okay. Let's start with number 34. And let's clear up a few things in this book that is excludable, non-taxable income. Okay. Now, 34. Which of the following would be included in gross income? All of you look at A, B, C, and tell me real quick which one would be included. See, is it Terry?
Hillary.
Hillary. I get Terry. Oh, that's the other one. The other one is not here. Hillary. It's like Hillary Clinton.
Oh, God.
Can't forget that name. You weren't named after Hillary, were you? Okay.
I was born before she got married.
Okay. She's been around a long time, though. She was first lady. So I guess go from first lady to last lady. Okay, Jonathan, what do you think on that one? 34. Which one or both or 3? And I got corporations up here. What do you think, Jonathan?
A and B are taxable.
What?
A and B are taxable.
He's exactly right. The gift that the mother gave is not taxable. And I'll flip this up here and you will see that. First one is a taxable prize. The second one is taxable compensation. And the third one is a gift. Okay. Let's look at 35 for a minute. Don is the beneficiary of $50,000 insurance on the life of his mother. Anna has paid premiums of $16,000. What amount of gross income must be reported in each of the following situations? Anna elects to cancel the policy and receives $20,000, the cash surrender value. Now, how much did she pay for the policy? How much had she paid? 16. And she's getting 20, she'll be taxed on 4. Anna dies and Don receives the face amount of the 50. Does Don pay taxes on it? No. All right. Anna dies and Don elects to receive $15,000 a year for 4 years. $15,000 a year for 4 years. $12,500 a year of that would be excluded. $2,500 a year is income. Okay. That was 30, what, 5? All right. Now, 36. Ed is the beneficiary of a $20,000 insurance policy on the life of his mother. Because Ed needs money, he sells the policy to his sister for $6,000. Amy subsequently pays premiums of $9,000. So Amy has how much money in the policy? 6 plus 9 is how much? 15. Keep that in mind. How much income must Amy report if she collects the face of the policy? Be 20 minus 15. Would Amy have to report any income if her brother had given her the policy, assume the only payment she made was $9,000? Now, does that make a difference? Now, A, Anna must include all, which is the 4,000. B, none. And C part, Don must report $2,500 per year for 4 years as income. Wait a minute.
We're on 36.
Yeah. No income has to be recognized. Collection of the face if a policy was transferred from the original owner as a gift. So again, no taxes on it. And 38. All right. Hillary, read 38 and see what you think about it. And Clayton, you read 39 and see what you think about it. And Cole, you read 40 A and B and see what you think about it. And Jonathan, you've got C, 40 C. Okay, Hillary, what do you think on number 38?
You have to report the 6,000 DVD.
All right, just a minute. Okay, dividends are a return of capital. That's just a portion of what you paid in. So return of capital is not taxable. All right, but interest is. Now, if he got any dividends excess of his premiums, he only paid in 8, got 9 in dividends or whatever, that would be 1,000 taxable of dividends. Okay? All right, now that's for dividends is a return of capital. Okay, and how about prizes and awards? Clayton, how about Peggy won $4,000 in the state lottery?
Is that
Yes. All right, Jane won 500 prize for her entry in a poetry contest.
I said not?
It is taxable. All right, Linda was awarded 2,000 when she was selected as Teacher of the Year by the local school system.
That is,
Yes and no. Why'd I say yes and no? Because of that word only. Just to give it to a charity, which would be non-taxable. Now, I'm sure some of you have watched Let's Make a Deal or The Price is Right, and somebody wins a $40,000 car. All right, I'd rather win 40,000 cash because they're giving you the manufacturer's suggested retail price of that car, and that's what you have to pay tax on, 40,000. But you know you can take probably 35,000 buy that car. So I'd probably rather have the 35,000 cash if that's my offer than the $40,000 car. Okay, be careful. All right, Cole, you had the first two. How about that scholarship?
$4,000 of the work is taxable.
Is what?
Like his, it says 4,000 per year to work part-time, that's taxable.
See.
Scholarship itself is.
All right, he has to pay taxes on the 4,000 work, but scholarship is not taxable. How about B part, Cole?
The $4,000 per year is taxable.
All right. Although one might argue that the full amount awarded was the salary paid for playing football. IRS excludes such awards if the student were required to play in order to receive the award. The full amount would be taxable. Nevertheless, Marty must include an income 4,000 of the scholarship that went for room, board, and salary. So Cole was right on this. However, I'm sure when they file with their standard deduction, they aren't paying taxes. Okay, no taxes. Right here, if you lose that scholarship, if you don't play, then you're going to be taxed on it. It's like a salary. So I don't know how many schools take away the scholarship if you can't play. But usually they get around it. Jonathan, how about C?
Tax from the 10,000 yard work.
Well, Miss Grogan students in the health field, they get paid. And yeah, you'd have to include the salary is taxable because that's what it is. We got off on scholarships and fellowships, and I never got around to finishing. When I went to Tech and got certified in marketing, which is true education, we got around to that. because I had to give some kind of presentation, a teaching presentation. And the professor said, good for somebody from Southwest Virginia. So a compliment, good, but not a compliment. I didn't, even though I'm from Southwest Virginia. And he said I used too many double negatives. Like, I never will do that. I ain't going to do that. So if you put two of those words together, it's a double negative. I ain't never going to do that. So, but anyway, that same professor, I guess he liked me. He offered me a fellowship, like come to take a good doctor in marketing. And the fellowship would have been, everything would have been paid for, and I got a small salary. And I would have taught introductory to marketing principles at Tech. And I'd have got to take my courses, they'd been paid for, and I'd have got my doctorate. So, but I had a small child at the time, so I made it not to do that. So, but it was an opportunity that I had. Okay, y'all did well on those. All right. Now we're going to go to 42. All right, Jonathan, you got A. Cole's got B. Clayton's got C. And Hillary has D. Personal injury. The word's compensatory, I suppose, compensatory. Okay, Cole, what do you think about yours? Jonathan, what do you think about A? Exactly. Neither are taxable. Medical insurance, or medical fees, or compensatory damages. And what the judge says that's for, pain and suffering. So if you get awarded pain and suffering insurance, okay, Hillary, you were never in, I asked this bunch, were you never in a car accident? Your fault?
No.
Did you get hurt?
My low.
Oh, you were little? All right. Your parents never told you you had brain damage? What's
No, they didn't.
I'm just kidding you, Hillary. Okay. How about the next one, Cole?
$4,000 tax.
All right. An article stated that Quincy had been convicted of tax evasion. Quincy is, in fact, had never been accused of tax evasion. He sued and won a compensatory settlement of $4,000 from the newspaper. And what'd you say about it, Cole?
4,000 tax.
It's taxable. All right. I was trying to tell you about that one. Way back when, if a man broke the engagement with a female, she sued him. It'd be taxable. Okay, now there's a lot of stuff going on in the government even about that. Somebody said Trump was threatening suing the author of a book that Trump says is all lies. And then somebody anonymous came out of the White House and went to the paper. And Trump would probably sue them if he knew who it was, or at least fire him. So, one thing about President Trump, something's always going on. Something always gets in the news, okay, whether you like him or not. And Clayton, how about the next one?
The 1800 is not taxable. Well, 1800. 1800.
Let's see. Now, he pays the cost of his own disability policy. So be careful with this. It doesn't matter who pays for the policy, him or his employer. Since he paid for it, what do you get, 1,800? I'm trying to,
1800 per call.
all right, but it gets excluded. Hillary, what you have? And
It's taxed. The company pays.
because his employer paid for it. Then he went on getting his salary probably. Now look at E part. Ted suffered a stroke. He was unable to work for 5 months. His employer continued to pay his salary. His salary is taxable. Okay, so that's a little bit about disability. Whether the employer pays you your regular pay, whether you paid for the disability policy, it's tax-free. If your employer paid for it, it's not tax-free. The simple rules on that one. Okay, now we're going to look at fringe benefits. On number 43, it's not an evil one, but all of you take one of these. Hillary, start with you, A, Clayton, B, Cole, C, and Jonathan, D. Okay, what do you think, Hillary?
They deduct the 14,000, the reimbursement for medical expenses.
All right, 4,100, wait a minute. The full amount of premiums paid is deductible. You did say that, didn't you? All right. These are fringe benefit, folks. That's why I say it's better than a raise. To get all these fringe benefits at 4,100, you may have to make $5,000. You may have to have an equivalent $5,000 raise. Okay. All right. How about yours, Clayton?
Doesn't
What?
the premiums aren't included in the gross?
All right. None are included in our gross income. Now, first off, back to Hillary's, I didn't look at that. The company can deduct the premiums, but she don't pay taxes. So Hillary, you had A, the company gets to deduct it, and then Clayton had none of the premiums are taxable to her. But now it gets a little bit different here. Code, how much must Ursula include in income relative to the insurance benefits?
Honestly, not sure.
All right, let's go ahead and look at those last two together. The disability is taxable, it's like a salary. Because who paid the premium? The employer. All right. None of the life insurance benefits will be taxable. That'd be Jonathan's answer. And I'm sure he got that. Finished, Dave?
Yep.
All right. Well, so far, we're just recapping what the chapter said and what my PowerPoint said. Look at number 44. Group term insurance. They have 4 employees and provides group insurance for all 4. Coverage is non-discriminatory and is as follows. How much may data corporation deduct for group term life insurance premiums? How much income must be reported by each employee? Now, first off, only Andy at 62, he's got $200,000 coverage. That's $150,000 too much. Divided by 1,000 is 150. 150 multiplied by his rate from that table. Then the only other one is Cindy. She's 33 and she's getting 80,000. Now, does it matter what the employer pays in premiums, or we just go by the table? Now, I just wanted to show you this one briefly. All right. Data corporation deducts the premiums paid on the group term. They deduct 4, 7, 6, and 3, whatever. They deduct it all, don't they? Okay. Neither Bob nor Demetrius is required to report any premium because they made under 50. And they must report $1,188 of gross income, which is computed as follows. 66 cents per 1,000 for his age group. And hers was 8 cents per 1,000 for her age group. The older you are, more insurance costs, right? That's why I say get insurance when you're young. Cheaper. Whole life used to be popular. Term is real popular now. Term insurance has become real popular. All right, we're going to flip over to problem 47. We're trying to cover most of these situations. Jet Corporation is involved in the purchase and retail of several large apartment complexes. Questions have raised about the treatment of several items pertaining to Jet Corporation's employees. Jet's employees, a manager for each complex. The manager is required to occupy in the complex in order to be available at all hours. The average rental value of the units is $12,000 per year. Now, my first question is, if you were a manager of one of his apartments, would you have to pay taxes on the $12,000 a year? No, because he was required to stay there, right? Okay. So, John, you did remember something we said last week. Okay. All right. He does each such entertainment about once every month, and the corporation pays the cost. Business is discussed at the meals. The cost for the year of each such entertainment was $1,500. About 1/3 of the cost was attributed to meals being consumed. Each year, as the company closes its books, the controller and certain other members of the accounting staff must work overtime. The company pays each employee supper money totaling $25. If they have to stay there, that's not taxable. The corporation's vice president expected to travel, all right, because of the distance involved. The vice president must stay away from home several nights. Total meals and lodging received on the trip total $3,000. Now, yes, the vice president does not have to pay taxes, but the company gets to deduct it. But meals and entertainment were limited unless Trump changed it. They were limited to 50% before. Which one is this? 47? All right, let's look at a recap of it. 50% still in, evidently. All right, they cannot direct entertainment, but 50% of meals. Not to be included in employees' gross income. The rental value department is covered by corporation cannot deduct the cost of entertainment. Supper money is excluded. Vice president expenses are covered. Now that's just allow 50% of his meals, okay? Meals, no matter how you get it deducted or why, it's only 50%. Now, if you don't know the value of your meal, IRS has an amount per day. They call it per diem. We'd have to research it to find it, but it is there. Okay, more topics. We're not going to do the foreign earned income. Now, death benefits are limited to $5,000 a year. Okay, so Cole, I want you to do 51, Jonathan 52, and Clayton 53, A and B, and Hillary C. All right, who had number 51? All right, Cole, I don't like to get into anything with corporations, so let me just look at this real quick with you. Debt reduction during bankruptcy does not result in income. Bankruptcy, you get out of it. That's what it's for. Now, however, I'm going to add to that. You cannot get out of IRS taxes by going bankrupt. You cannot get out of paying your employee's salary by going bankrupt. Two things you can't get out of. But everything else you can. My own son, when he declared bankruptcy, he owed me 21. I lost it. I'm dumb enough to go back and loan him more money. He's a bad risk, but I'm his dad. USA must reduce its NOL by 380, which is the difference in the loss. 380, the loss will cancel out to zero. Net operating loss. That's usually a carryover. Yeah, NOL, we'll get to that later, but net operating loss, that's usually a carryover. Okay, you had 52, Jonathan. How about the discharge of that debt? Taxable or not? All right. The debt reduction is 250. As the reduction is not one that takes place in bankruptcy, it is subject to limitation. There is a $120,000 debt reduction associated with insolvency that you're still worth that much. That reduction in debt reduces the net operating loss carryover to 30. Now that was a tough one. Didn't know that, but we'll get into that later when we get to net operating losses. Okay, and what did you have for number 53, A part?
$40,000 is taxable.
You got to include the entire 40,000 award and gross income, as there is no indication of physical injury nor medical expense. How about B part?
It's also taxable.
All right, liable has been held to be personal injury. However, it is not physical injury. No exclusions available. Physical injury, if you get your neck whiplash, you don't pay taxes on it. But if you stress out your brain, you pay taxes on it. Mental injury is taxable, physical is not. Okay, here we have about the next one, dear.
Is it the $10,000 disability policy for the employee sponsor?
Right,
Employer's sponsor.
it's taxable. If her injury was deemed permanent, she may qualify for disability credit. We've not talked about credit for an elderly or disability credit, but number 53 was just a little bit more on forgiveness of debt, bankruptcy, what have you. All right. Not going to go over 55 with you. That's another story. I want you to read number 54, all of you. Read number 54. Read all parts of 54. Well, class don't start at 6. Mr. I'm gonna probably go get here at 5:30 because it was just. Okay, let's look at this one and we could call it a day. On this one, what is the amount of gain that may be excluded from the gross income? How much gain might be excluded? If I got an answer to A part. What do you think? Let's just go ahead and look at it. My selling price was 16 million. The basis was 1 million. You have a gain of 15 million. Limitation upon the gain eligible for the exclusion. Greater of 10,000 or 40,000. That's 10 times 4 million. Thus, none of the 15,000 gain is subject to the limitation. What kind of limitation are we talking about? I need to read that one. Was that number 55?
The one you're reading.
Number 55.
You said 50.
Okay. I meant to do number 54. But anyway, small business stock. That's another gain in another chapter. I didn't mean to do that one this time, but my brother-in-law went into the mining business and he lost about $100,000. Now, he could have taken $3,000 a year, capital gains and losses. But since it was a small business stock, he was able to take it all in 1 year. That's the difference in small business stock. Take all the loss in 1 year, if you can, or carry it over. So back up to the cafeteria plan, what I meant to give you. By participating in the plan, you would save $2,880. Now, this is what I've been trying to tell you about raises or not. You can receive cash. These benefits include health insurance that costs $9 and a child care that costs $26. He's in the 32% tax bracket. How much of a raise could he get? All right, how much, if it's safe to choose? A part. Okay, if he took this in cash, if he took it in cash, he would lose $2,880. And that's just IRS's tax. He'd have to pay 5 or 6% state tax. And I don't know if IRS included Social Security tax and Medicare. I'm willing to bet he would lose $3,500 if he don't take the fringe benefits. All right, B, probably not, although there would still be a tax saving that is not sufficient reason to spend $9,000 on nuclear medical insurance coverage. One possible reason for carrying additional coverage would be if the wife's employer's plan did not provide anything. And C, yes, participation in employee plan will result in tax saving of $832. All right. That just backs up what I told you last week. Now, if I'm offering a $10,000 raise versus $5,000 in fringe benefits, I'd have to do some calculating. I want to take the $10,000 cash, right? But if I'm offering $5,000 cash or $5,000 in medical insurance, I'll take the medical insurance. Because I couldn't buy the same for $5,000 cash, plus I'd be taxed on the $5,000 cash. So I think that point is drilled home. Okay, we'll start chapter 5 on Thursday and discuss if you're taking the test home or not, okay? So we'll call it a day. You're getting out 10 minutes early.